नमस्कार, आप देख रहे हैं समाचार 24+ और मैं हूं आपका दोस्त हनी। इस वक्त मौजूद है दिल्ली के होटल ली मेरिडियन में, जहां पर व्हाइट पेज एंटरटेनमेंट के द्वारा लीडरशिप कॉन्क्लेव का आयोजन किया गया है, जहां पर टॉप से बिजनेसमैन और बड़ी से बड़ी कंपनीज ने इसमें हिस्सा लिया है। इस कॉन्क्लेव के अंदर जाने माने लीडरशिप गुरु और मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर और जाने माने हैप्पीनेस गुरु श्री अविनाश आनंदा जी ने मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में शिरकत करी। अविनाश आनंदा जी, मैं आपको बता दूं, बहुत ही बड़े और जाने माने लीडरशिप और हैप्पीनेस गुरु हैं। अविनाश आनंदा जी ने कई राष्ट्रीय और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार भी हासिल कर चुके हैं। आज अविनाश आनंदा जी के द्वारा सभी लोगों को यहाँ पर अवार्ड बांटे जाएंगे और सबसे बड़ी बात, एक पैनल डिस्कशन होगा जो कि बिजनेस कॉन्क्लेव को दर्शाएगा। इस कॉन्क्लेव और पैनल डिस्कशन के अंदर अविनाश आनंदा जी के द्वारा बताया जाएगा किस तरीके से हम अपनी लाइफ के अंदर खुशियां, हैप्पीनेस ला सकते हैं। अविनाश आनंदा जी शुरू से ही लोगों को खुशी लाने में और लोगों की माइंड से डिप्रेशन और मानसिकता जो उनकी गलत वे में जाती है, उन सबको सही करने में शुरू से ही अविनाश आनंदा जी बहुत समय से काम कर रहे हैं। अविनाश आनंदा जी कई लेवल पर भी अपनी पैनल डिस्कशंस और आउट ऑफ इंडिया में भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा अपनी प्रदर्शनी दिखा चुके हैं।
Very good morning. Delighted to be here with you. These lights shining in my eyes. I'm really say delighted, honestly. But I'm very delighted to be here with you. Thank you for reducing the shine of the lights, so I can see the shine on the faces of the people here. Thank you so much for reading out what you did. Thank you. With such an introduction, I have to reintroduce myself. Because normally when introductions are read out, people switch off. You don't invite somebody and say something not nice about them. They must be saying something nice anyway, right? So I'll reintroduce myself in the context of my topic. The topic that is given to me was happiness, but happiness and leadership. These are the two areas. But these two areas seem to be very different areas, no? Because in an organization, from an HR perspective or business perspective, leadership development happens through learning and development or through some kind of growth. You develop leaders. Happiness is usually relegated to work-life balance or feel-good wellness programs, or so this is employee engagement. That is excellence enhancement, broadly, if you look at these two. So where is east is east and west is west, and where do the twain meet? They look like two different things, paradoxically. But I became master of paradoxes because when very early on I learned Zen meditation. And my Zen master, Japanese guy, I never spoke Japanese, I only spoke English, he never spoke English, so I don't know what he taught me. But he used to give us koans. You know, koans is like questions to which you keep trying to find an answer and you never find one because they don't have an answer. It's like, what's the sound of one hand clapping? So after trying to ponder over all those things for 16, 17 years old, today when organizational CEOs tell me that, you know, how do I handle the fact that this guy, my vice president, is excellent at everything else he does, but he's perceived as being arrogant by his peers. Can you change that, Avinash? So my job is like a behavioral expert, executive coach. I work with people one-to-one behind the scenes and create behavioral change. You cannot tell an arrogant person, hey, you are arrogant, please don't be arrogant. Because he's got what is called Dunning-Kruger effect. Dunning-Kruger effect, these two guys, Dunning and Kruger, they won an award, each award, which is by Nobel laureates. When they came up with this concept, this syndrome, the people who are leaders, they generally reach a stage where they don't know what they don't know, or they think they know what they actually don't know. Think of your boss. Or for example, a really bad singer, a bathroom singer, who comes out and sings in public and thinks he's good. Or like a really passionate boss who comes and takes the mic and doesn't let go of the microphone and thinks that what he's saying is very inspiring. And since the people are junior to him, they can't even tell him, honestly. No? So he feels even more reinforced. So, which is that what got you here will not get you there kind of a thing, Marshall goes with me. So I am called in when we have the hardest nuts to crack. So I am giving Dalai Lama monks in the Himalayas to teach them happiness. Yes. Or how if you married here, can I see show hands? How to be married and happy simultaneously? This is like paradoxes. I'm very good at that, sir. I'm sure some of you already. How many of you are married and happy with your happiness? See, there's something about being married and being happy. I'm talking about being married and happy. Yeah, I'm sure you are. I'm just kidding. I'm making light of a very serious situation for some of you. To cut a long story short, I was born in India, went to America, studied in America. I found that whenever I went, 15 days a month I was in the western part of the world, 15 days a month eastern part of the world. The East is looking for what the West has, what to ape the West in many ways. The West is looking for what the East has. Spirituality, yoga is most selling in America. Okay? So, what's the problem? So we did a little study, but this began. Harvard Business School professor Nitin Nohria. I studied his works when I was hired to teach top IT managers in a company in Bangalore. The top IT managers who had 5,000, 10,000 people under them, the goal was to train those guys. Who will train them? Because they always nominate people for training, but they are not there. So, but the training has to be relevant to them. So they didn't have, we tried to figure out what would motivate them, so we got them Harvard certification at the end of the course. So that got them to attend the class, but we had to make the program relevant enough to this thing. So we created an entire program. One of the things that I studied there was Nitin Nohria's works, what really works. He says every time in HR, in management, there are new fads that come up, usually 3-letter words. And everybody says, this is the next big thing. He gives the example of Tom Peters, who wrote In Search of Excellence. And he studied some 14 different companies, and he said these are the criteria that make the companies excellent. Tom Peters became in the next 15 years international management guru, but the 15 companies were defunct. Or they were no longer excellent based on the study. So what really works over a longer period of time was the focus of Nitin Nohria's study, and we used a similar kind of study for studying what makes leadership and happiness work, or what can make happiness sustain over a long term. Positive psychology talks about how happiness is the driver for productivity. So the worlds are getting merged is what I'm suggesting. A leader leads minds. A leader has a mind, hopefully. A leader leads other minds. So a leader must understand what motivates the mind. What motivates minds? Happiness. So if a leader becomes more happiness-centric in his approach and understands the minds that he leads, he will be able to get better results and influence better. That's the premise of the whole thing. So we came up with a study called Meta-Mind Alignment, which has a framework of 14 different skills. But every skill has also got a mindset along with it. Because you have the mindset, you have the skill set, and then you have to have tool sets, techniques to immediately apply if you don't understand anything. We came up with this entire framework. We've been using it for a large number of companies. I have about 300 companies with me in 30 countries right now, and we're experimenting and doing great work. And we find that happiness, the three quick tenets I'd like to share with you. Four quick tenets I'd like to share with you. Number one, and I'll use the acronym MIND for it to be a little more memorable. M is meaning. We have to turn the paradigm upside down. That happiness comes after you achieve results. There's overwhelming research now that says that happiness first, because then happiness will be the magnet that will attract success. Happiness will be the energy that will drive productivity. So there is M, meaning. Because if you change the way you see things, the things you see will change. I'm suggesting if you have the sun, you're walking in the direction of the sun, the shadow will follow. Which means work towards employee engagement and excellence enhancement, you will get all the results that you want. And work towards it with the energy of happiness. Instead of turning your back towards the sun and running after the shadow and trying to do other activities which will not get you what you want, because you're not working according to principles of true law. That's M, meaning. I is insight. As I said before, leaders must have an insight into how the mind works. For example, the mind doesn't work well. The mind is like Velcro for negativity and like satin for positivity. Velcro sticks, satin. So people tend to magnify and remember small negative things. And even if you do a lot for them, they tend to forget that. conscious mind, subconscious mind. According to Western thing, according to Eastern, there are different types, 16 different types of mind. But according to Western, conscious, subconscious, both are messed up. Conscious mind is shown as cognitive biases, basic problems in the software of the mind, which make decision making terrible. And decisions are very important for both leadership and happiness. A subconscious mind is messed up. Why? Because we have erroneous beliefs, which we are not willing to adapt to, we are not willing to let go of. Many of our beliefs are not chosen by us. There is a consequence of our environment and our experiences. So, can we work at the level of the mind to change these beliefs and to make these cognitive biases, minimize them so we make better decisions in organizations? There's overwhelming research that suggests we can. Just to make it a little change, there was this one guy, and I'm not deriding anyone or any group of people, I'm just making a joke. I see a lot of very serious people here. There was this one man who believed he was a mouse. It's a joke, guys.